Hey guys, so today we're going to go over our brand new F-450. It's for one of my electricians in the company, and we're going to go through and talk about the things that we upgraded on the truck that we like, and go over some of the features that me and the electrician, Caleb, that we've installed on this truck. So let's get into it. All right, so one of the first things that we do is we add emergency lighting to all of our trucks. All of our trucks have these lights. We use Phoenix lights. We've been pretty happy with them. Had a couple of problems with them lately. We actually tried something different on this. When I turn them off, I'll show you. But we have this bar on the front. We have these bars that are called rockers. And then on the very back of the truck, we have an 8-bar light up high. Another nice function of these lights is we can make them be either emergency lights or we can make them be work lights. So if you're outside in an environment working and you wanted to have the work lights on, matter of fact, we're in the warehouse. Let me just turn off all the lights to kind of give you an idea. Having the work lights on the truck gives us a nice environment, and we can kind of walk around the truck and kind of see. So that's kind of a neat thing, that we can utilize the emergency light aspect of it, and we can do the work light aspect of it. We also, on this light bar, because we could, is we can program different functions. So we can program arrows, like lane merge arrows or different patterns. We can also say, hey, I want these three to be like a blinker. This light bar has all the different colors in it, so we can have red, blue, green, amber. And of course, you have to have the proper, we can't put red or blue, but we can put amber and white. And so now we can have a chance for this to be a blinker. Since it's wired into as a brake light, it'll come on, just giving more situational awareness to the drivers behind Caleb when he's driving. So it's kind of a neat feature. One of the things we've done with the Phoenix light bars, we mentioned earlier that we've had some issues with them. One of the things we've done is we started running the wires down instead of like this wire comes from up here, and previously I'd run it down. So that lead was wicking all the water into the light housing. Maybe that was causing the problem. So you notice this wire goes down, the wires on the rockers all go down and then turn back around. So any water that gets on the wire is not wicked into the light. And again, up here, you'll notice how we made this wire droop down. We've done better. So I don't know if that's an upgrade that Phoenix has made or if that's something we've done. Phoenix lights are a lot cheaper than Wheeling or some of those guys. We really love the functionality, but like I said in the past, we've had some challenges. They've made them all up. They're a little bit difficult in dealing with quantum bars where you have to pay to turn on different colors. Getting refunded on the quantum lighting upgrades that we do back from them, but we continue to work through that with them. Knapheide is a nice box. We like those boxes. A lot of our trucks have that on it. Another neat thing about this truck, you can unlock and lock the cabinets with the truck. So I just unlocked all the doors. So all the doors of the truck lock electrically with the thing. So you can do it with the fob or like I just did there. These nice toolboxes came. It's a nice positive latch, really nice. So that's a neat feature. This particular box came, or these drawers came with the box. Pretty nice. Caleb's done a good job utilizing some of the Milwaukee pack out stuff. So he's a big pack out Milwaukee guy. It's pretty cool. In the back here, one of the great advantages of a truck like this is in a van, you tend to, without the cabinets and everything on the outside of the van, and I worked out of a van when I first started doing security systems, you have racks and shelves inside a van, but all that stuff just gets in the way, and so you end up piling the middle of the van up, and then you have to basically unload the van to get in there to get to all the cabinets. Now, this has E-track, so you can pack stuff in. He's got his pack out stuff from Milwaukee up there, but it's a little bit wider than a van, a little bit taller, and you do have the storage space on the side, the bin space on the side, so that's kind of cool. So maybe it won't be quite as bad as a van, but it gives you a lot more flexibility that, you saw of his hand tools and different things there on the perimeter of the truck, and then it makes it a little bit easier, maybe long-term storage and those kind of things to go up in here. So another thing that we really like about this truck is we've got this 20-amp outlet. So we've added this to the truck. We have a 2400-watt inverter. It gives us a full 20-amp outlet on the truck with 2 batteries and the big alternators on this system. It can completely keep up, and the truck just idling will keep up with this alternator and allow Caleb to use any kind of electrical tools, charges, different things and all that. So that's a really nice feature to have right there. The Knapheide people integrated this backup camera to let you see the hitch, so you got a lot of carrying capacity being a 450. This camera's nice because it integrates into the on-dash system from Ford, so that's a neat feature. These are some of the trays that come stock with the Knapheide box. In this box, this is where We did an inverter for Caleb, a full 2,000 watt, 2,400 watt inverter. Gives us 20 amps. You see, it gives him a place to charge his battery. You see it's charging right now. This relay, this is the same relay we use on the do not idle trucks. Have all the fuses, the power that comes from the 2 battery systems. So we get 2 batteries on all of our trucks. So there's an alternator capable, I think, of 400 or 500 amps. So it's more than enough to run the inverter. Ford puts that on all their trucks with their 2,400 watt inverter. This truck didn't have that, but we just added it in. That's pretty nice. So it gives him a place that he can put all of his tools and keeps them charged. Really like that lock system, you know, where it locks the cabin and it locks the bed all at one place. The lighting system. Under the hood here, if you've never messed with one of these trucks, the upfitter switches, all 6 of the switches, they go into this little box right here. This box has all the fuses and the relays associated with the upfitter. There's all kinds of people on YouTube that talk about these all the time. So right here, you notice a couple of neat things. Here's a 200 amp battery fuse, and this takes power from the battery system. So there's 2 batteries, and this is the fuse that goes back to the compartment that has the inverter. So at 200 amps times 12, it's 2,400 watts. That's the same capacity as the inverter. So we can only pull as much off the inverter as we need. We ran these real nice, big, heavy, some people call this LMO or SOW. There's different things, but this is a high temperature 600 volt flexible cable. This is the same cable that we use, ironically, in our power world. So this is the same 2-0 cable, real heavy, plenty of capacity. And so we have a nice breaker that goes back there to run the inverter and all the other 12 volt accessories. It comes off of the truck here, and then Ford connects the 2 batteries together. And then these wires right here, this harness that we made, goes to the upfitter switching. Stephen pointed this painter's tape out. When I'm doing these trucks, I'll paint off. I've told you where I've snagged my shirt in here and broke this. So I take painter's tape to keep me from doing that. And then while I'm dragging all these wires over the side of the truck here, I add painter's tape into it so that it doesn't mess up the paint here. And then I take a piece of painter's tape and I write down all the different color codes of the wire, and I'm doing it. And then when I get done, I stick it up here. Another thing I do is I put, it says right here, front bar fuse. So the front bar is the front bar light is in the upfit relay box, and it's in here. Another thing that we look at is 5 and 6 on the upfitter switch is a 40 amp fuse. A 40 amp fuse is pretty big. So I change all those down to 20 amp fuses so that we can use like 14 gauge wire and know that we've got the right size of wire, because, you know, 40 amps is a lot. So that's something that you should look at if you're just hooking up wires willy-nilly to your upfitter switches. You know, 40 amps is a lot. And this is where the radio also comes off of. This truck has one of our Parker radios. It's a stock radio, and I've got Caleb a magnetic holder for this, and he hadn't decided exactly where he wants this radio, but the radio itself goes behind the seat. This is where we installed the Motorola radio. This truck probably won't ever go on a hurricane. It could, but if it did, it would give us that flexibility. All that battery stuff comes back to here. We go into this big heavy duty relay. This heavy duty relay is controlled by this Altronics. I think it's a 6062 timer. And you notice it's still on. It gives you 1 hour from when the truck is turned off to keep all the accessories, the radios, the lights, the inverter, it all stays on. And then after the truck's off for 1 hour, it turns all this off. And then we put in a fuse panel for back here. I should have probably did a little neater, but I just wrote with a Sharpie on the wall here what all the different fuses are that we added in. And then I put in a barrier strip with all the extra wires and cable, and it goes to the front. So if we want to jump something in, and this is where we tied all the light bars in. That's a little bit about how we build the infrastructure for the trucks and for the battery system, and how we like label everything, where all the different fuses are, so that if anybody has to service anything and I'm not around, you can jump right into it and find what you need to know. This really isn't like a Ford pickup truck review. There's tons of folks that do Super Duty reviews for their vehicles and different things. This particular truck has an XLT trim level, so it's got nice seats, power seats, the display, Bluetooth, the radio stuff. So that's all pretty cool. This is a 7.3 gas motor with a 488 rear end. Ain't great on gas. It's only getting like 8 or 9 miles to the gallon. We understand that, and the way we let our trucks idle and whatnot, the diesels with all the DEF and after filter treatment and all that stuff. Those have just been a disaster for people that try to idle their trucks. So we've had great success with Ford trucks and their gas motors idling. So we'll pay a little bit more money for the fuel, and probably the savings that we get with the initial cost of not paying $10,000 for the diesel engine. I mean, I'm sure everybody's going to go crazy in the comments on that, but basically you can buy a lot of gas for $10,000, and every oil change, instead of paying $200 or $300, you pay 50 bucks. So it almost makes up for it, because I guess the diesel performance is only going to be about 12 miles or 15 miles to the gallon. I think with the diesel you get a 411 rear end instead of a 488 because there's more torque. Anyway, that's about it for the cabin. Kind of how we put this truck together. We promised everybody, there's a lot of comments that wanted a continuation of this. This was an upgrade for Caleb from a pickup truck. He started like with a transit van, 3/4 ton transit van. He then had an F-350 pickup truck. But all these boxes and this tool body gives them a lot more flexibility, so we like it. So we thought we'd just kind of go over it. This truck gets you in a DOT class that you have to have a medical card, and it becomes a DOT truck combination if you get over 26,001 pounds with the truck and the trailer, which you can do pretty easily. You have to have a Class A to pull it, or if you're driving in this configuration, because it's in the pursuit of commerce and it's a truck of this weight over 10,000 pounds, have to have a medical card. So that's kind of a bummer, you know. That's why you see a lot of F-350 trucks, F-250 trucks where they're keeping them under 10,000 pounds. But these aren't that. Makes it handy if he's pulling generators, air compressors, trailers, doing his generator work. If you saw something in this video you liked, or if you see something I missed or have a question, put it in the comments and we'll make you a follow-up video to it. And as always, we appreciate you watching. Send it to somebody that's got a truck or somebody you think that might be interested in it. We appreciate you watching.